Yo, what's going on, everybody? GZTV back with another video, and I just realized I didn't cover the Final Four, so I'm going to have to do that right after this video. But as of now, we're talking about the NBA action from April 3rd. There's actually no NBA action on tonight, so don't expect another NBA video until Wednesday. But, yeah, we're just going to go over some of the basketball that took place. Well, actually, all of it that took place, of course. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They squeezed a lot of games into Sunday so the NBA players could have a rest day. I'm not sure why they're not playing today. I don't know. Wizards and Celtics, though. Jaylen Brown scores 32 points. The Celtics destroy the Wizards, winning by 42. One of our biggest point differentials in a while, and we've been pretty dominant this year, so that's saying quite a bit. But the Wizards played like shit. They literally didn't have any good performers. Rui Hachimura went scoreless, so that's kind of a big problem. I don't even know what to say about that team. But looking at the Celtics, because you had Tatum putting up 22 and Jaylen Brown 32, the ever-evolving duo of JT and JB. It's a pretty amazing connection there, and we get the win, so that's nice. Mavericks against Bucks. Doncic leads the Mavericks to a 6-point victory over the Bucks. It's a pretty big win to beat a finals contender like the Bucks. Luka just proven himself. I mean, to be one of the best players in the league. You know, looking at the Mavericks, 22 and 13 for Dwight Powell, though. Let's not forget, Dwight Powell has been playing some amazing basketball recently. I'm very happy for the guy. Luka put up 32 and 15, which he has the same amount of 30 and 15 games as the rest of the NBA does combined. But looking at the Bucks, Giannis put up 28 and 10. And Drew Holiday put up 20. I think Wesley Matthews had a pretty slow night. He put up 2 points in 18 minutes, so that's kind of a problem, especially as a starter. Maybe he got injured. I don't know how he only played 18 minutes, but hey, whatever. Nuggets and Lakers is the next game we're going to talk about. Jokic gets 38. They lead the Nuggets past the LeBronless Lakers by 11, and this is a big storyline because the Spurs won their game. We'll talk about that in a little bit, which means the Lakers are 2 games out of the play-in with 4 games left in the season. They're going to have to cover some ground here. I don't know. It's not looking very good. But no doubt the Nuggets played amazing. 24 for Aaron Gordon, 25 for Will Barton, 38 and 18 for Jokic, continuing to make his MVP case. I don't think there's that much of an argument at this point. I don't think the Lakers played terrible. It just wasn't enough. I mean, 28 from Anthony Davis, 27 and 10 from Westbrook. Dwight Howard. I mean, in today's age of the NBA, you gotta have a center that can somewhat score. And Dwight Howard going out there and putting up 8 and 23. It's not horrible, but it's not ideal either. I don't know who else to blame for that. I mean, not having LeBron, I guess you could definitely attribute it to that. Next, we have 2 teams that aren't making the playoffs, so this game doesn't really matter, but we have the Pistons and the Pacers. Sadiq Bey and Fred Jackson lead the Pistons past the Pacers by 4. I mean, those two are playing pretty good together recently. I don't think Jackson had an amazing game. I think it was really just Sadiq Bey putting up 31 that gave him the edge here. But a great team effort for the Pistons. I mean, a team that's out of the playoffs, they don't really have any hope. They don't have any motivation, I guess. Coming in and winning this game is kind of cool. But going to the Pacers, you had O'Shea Brissett putting up 20 and 10. Tyrese Halliburton putting up 19 and 17. Not too many flaws here. Goga Batazde only played 9 minutes, so the 6 points, I mean, whatever. 0 points for Anderson off the bench, I guess. I don't know. I don't think the Pacers played bad. This was an all-around pretty decent basketball game for these 2 teams. I mean, I don't know. Sixers and Cavs, this is my other headline for the day. Cavs cry foul after Embiid scores 44 in the Sixers' 14-point victory. Embiid having a great game. And James Harden having a triple-double. I don't know why we grazed over that, but I mean, it was Jokic. It was Embiid's night. I tend to get them mixed up. They're both in the conversation. Embiid had 44 and 17. James Harden had 21, 10, and 10. Hold on 1 second, guys. What is Caleb talking about? Anyways, my friend was... It's actually a 4-point victory. Did I say 14? It was a 4-point victory. 21, 10, and 10 for Harden, though. 23 for Garland, my boy. I won the fantasy championship, by the way. Again, Isaac Okoro being a constant weak point for the Cleveland Cavaliers in their losses. He plays 32 minutes and puts up 3 points. That's just unacceptable. I don't know what else to say. Moving on to Knicks and Magic. Not a very good game here. Not much to talk about. Pretty dominant win for the Knicks. Knicks are a pretty up-and-down team this year. Without Randall, I guess winning games is cool, but they're not going to make the play-in. so that doesn't even matter. 20 points for Obi Toppin, though. 12 and 10 for Mitchell Robinson. 27 for RJ. Emmanuel quickly triple-double off the bench. 20, 10, and 10. I mean, looking at the Magic, 13 and 12 for Mo Bamba. He's been the only good player for them for quite some time right now. I mean, Franz Wagner's gotten hurt or he hasn't been playing good, so I don't know. Okiki had 4 points in 20 minutes. Okiki is a constant weak point for this franchise. They either need to develop him more or find a replacement. I don't know what's going on there. Heat and Raptors is the next game. Lowry has 16 points and 10 assists as the Heat beat the Raptors by 5. So pretty close games today, I will say, but I mean, this is a good game. I mean, two really big, some heavyweights in the East, if you will. But 16 10 for Lowry. Don't forget Max Strus putting up 23. He's a developing player. He shot 7 for 9 from 3, 7 for 10 from the field. Man, absolutely mad. I mean, they're developing a lot of three-point shooters. You know, Duncan Robinson's coming off the bench because Max Strus has proven himself. Victor Oladipo putting up 21 off the bench. Usually Tyler Hero was the guy that would do that, but Victor Oladipo was the bench guy for that night. Looking at the Raptors, 29 for Siakam. I think Siakam's been having a very underrated year. Definitely needs more recognition. And Fred VanVleet kind of getting in the rhythm, 29. But that's not. It's what's not going to help anything is Kim Birch being scoreless. I guess that's a big issue, but it's whatever. I mean, can't win them all again. I say that every episode. Timberwolves and Rockets is up next. Edwards has 33. Towns has 28. The Timberwolves beat the Rockets by 7, although the Rockets, I guess, kept it close. For two guys going off like that, Rockets have some buckets on their squad, man. I'm very excited for their future. But first, looking at the Timberwolves, 33 for Edwards, 28 and 11 for Cat. Don't forget that 22 bomb for D'Lo. That's nice. 3 guys in the starting lineup putting up 20 plus. Looking at the Rockets, 14 and 15 for the rookie Alperen Sengun. Nice. 21 for KPJ. 31 for Jalen Green. 30 for Josh Christopher off the bench. Gus Matthews being a weak point for them once again. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it sucks, but that's how it is. Suns and Thunder. Thunder beat the Suns. I mean, a lot of people resting for the Suns. Without Booker, I mean, you guys talk about Chris Paul, but without Booker, what are the Suns? With Booker resting, Sarr and Pokusevski lead the Thunder past the Suns. Never even heard of Sarr. We'll have to talk about him once we get there. Suns played like ass, but that's because they didn't have any Devin Booker. Mostly, JaVale McGee needs to score a little more. 8 and 23, I guess. I don't know. Thunder. Pokusevski triple-double. 17, 12, and 10. Sarr had 24 off the bench, so yeah, ESPN nailed it on the head with that one. We got 3 more games to talk about. Trailblazers and Spurs. This is part of the Lakers getting kicked out of the play-in. Furthermore, Spurs top the short-handed Blazers to strengthen their play-in hopes. The Trailblazers is a gimme at this point. That's a great game to play when you're trying to make the play-in and secure it. I mean, good game for Drew Eubanks. He had 13 and 13, but Williams had a slow night when usually he puts up 20 for this team, especially with like Damian Lillard not being there for the year. That's all I got to say. I mean, Spurs, you got Zach Collins putting up 18 and 13. You got Keldon Johnson putting up 28. A pretty good effort. Without DeJounte Murray, I think they've won 2 games in a row. So I can't even imagine what's going to happen when DeJounte Murray comes back. He's going to be as motivated as ever to make the playoffs with this team. Warriors Kings is the next game. Not much to talk about here. Really wasn't that good of a game. You saw 25 for Wiggins, 22 for Jordan Poole, 19 and 12 for Bielita off the bench. Okay, that's nice. They got some good bigs off the bench. I will say that. Looking at the Kings, 18 and 10 for Harrison Barnes. That's about all you're gonna get. I mean, Justin Holiday just put up 6 points in 26 minutes. That's not a very efficient night. Yeah, Kings definitely need to forget that game ever happened. Forget the season ever happened. I think they're out of the playoffs. I want to say they are. I will look at the standings after I'm done with this work because I kind of have time to do all that stuff. But last but not least, Pelicans Clippers. Again, not much to talk about this one. This was another pretty slow game here. 12 and 10 for Jackson Hayes. I mean, that's about all you got. Valanciunas scoring less than usual. I guess you could attribute that to the loss. Clippers, Marcus Morris putting up 22, Reggie Jackson putting up 11 and 10, Zubac putting up 16 and 14. Pretty well-rounded effort for the Clippers. With Paul George not shooting as well as he usually does, it's nice to see those guys come out and perform and score. Marcus Morris being that number 1 option is very interesting. So let's look at the standings here. So for the East, the top 14. Wait. So the Heat clinched the division. We have 4 teams that have clinched playoff berths. We have 2 teams that have clinched play-in berths. So now it's Chicago, Toronto, Cleveland, and Atlanta fighting to see who will make the playoffs and who will make the play-in. Okay, moving on to the West. You had 4 guys clinching the playoffs. Another guy clinching the play-in in Denver. Hold on. Okay, Denver, Utah, and Minnesota battling for the playoffs. New Orleans, San Antonio, LA battling for the play-in. And that will change as the days go on. You guys don't want to miss it. It's a very important time in basketball. Teams are making their playoff pushes. The Celtics have made the playoffs. They're the 2nd seed. Love it. I love it. No NBA action till tomorrow, so I won't be talking about NBA till